Since the release of Pokémon Go in the summer of 2016, the app industry has exploded with new games and products involving augmented reality and has steadily been refining the practice. But this trend is not seen in scavenger hunt and treasure hunt apps like Pokémon Go. Of these games, the apps are either well done and heavily based on geolocation with questionable AR capabilities, or the apps use better AR capabilities at the expense of the game itself and have very few multiplayer capabilities. For example, one game that is very well done and popular with many people is an app called Snatch. This app uses geolocation to find packages, which you can snatch from other players, and other players can snatch from you. They use an AR camera to grab packages, but this camera does not incorporate the user's surrounding in real time and is an extremely trivial part of the game. The second example is a game called Seek. This app allows businesses and organizations to purchase chests and give out real prizes that players have to find. They use an AR camera to show 3D chests which the users can find and open, but the game itself is very simplistic and can only be played if there are chests in the user's general area. Our users want a well-rounded game that sufficiently uses quality AR capabilities, which any player can use anytime, anywhere with their friends.
ScavengAR is a new location-based mobile gaming experience, where you and your friends can compete against each other to explore the world around you through randomly generated scavenger hunts. Utilizing the Vuforia AR engine, your phone camera can show you objects otherwise hidden in your surroundings as you race against your friends to discover the most items and win the game. In the game, users would be able to join a friend's game, invite others to play, or fly solo. When a player starts their own game, they can choose from a variety of settings to change how they approach the scavenger hunt. They can decide how large or small the game area will be, whether or not there is a time limit, and a general game difficulty, which can include the number of objects created or distance between objects. The player can then start the game, which will cause a predetermined number of objects to be randomly placed in the area around them. When the game has started, players will have access to a minimap to provide helpful hints as to where objects are, as well as spatial awareness so the player doesn't lose track of their location. The minimap will only show the area in which the game is being played and provide several key pieces of information to players. First, the minimap will show specific subregions of the game area where an object resides. While this does guide the player to a general region where they can look for objects, it doesn't tell the player where the objects are, but instead encourages them to open their camera and take advantage of the phone's AR capabilities to actively look in the area around them for their goal. The game will come with two possible modes. The first is a timed race mode, where players will compete against one another to find the most objects in a predetermined time limit. An alternative to this is a completion mode, where the goal is to collect the most objects before all of them are found. In this mode, when an object is collected, it becomes inaccessible for other players. This is challenging gameplay, as a player can move a large distance for a single object only to be edged out by one of their competitors. For a game to complete, all players must return to the start point. Then, total scores are calculated and players are encouraged to play again, as every new instance of the game will feature new areas for the player to explore.
We chose to create an application for the Android platform. We chose this because we want to reach the largest possible audience, and Android has over 2 billion monthly active devices. Additionally, all of our group members personally use Android phone devices, which makes it the easiest to develop for. Finally, a few members of our group have had prior experiences coding in Android, thus we would need to focus less on learning the platform and have more time to focus on the actual program. As the official IDE for Android, Android Studio provides the fastest tools for building applications on every type of Android device. World-class code editing, debugging, a flexible build system, and instant build and deploy systems are features that will help us build a high-quality application. We chose to use Android Studio because it is an integral part of the Google ecosystem and will make writing an application much more streamlined. In addition, there are a lot of tools mentioned earlier and tutorials made for Android Studio that will help us create our application. This project will involve a few Google APIs which will help facilitate the implementation of our application. Google's real-time multiplayer API will be used for handling player invitations and player communication throughout the game. Google Android's Service Location API and Google's Android Maps API will be used for setting up scavenger hunts, refining object locations, and helping guide users to the scavenger hunt objects. Blender is a professional, free and open source 3D computer graphics software toolset used for creating animated films, visual effects, art, 3D printed models, interactive 3D applications, and video games. In our project, we will use Blender to model the objects that will be displayed inside of our application. Unity is an all-purpose game engine that supports 2D, 3D graphics, and scripting through C#. For 3D games, Unity provides useful features such as specification of texture compression and resolution settings for each platform that the game engine supports. We will use Unity in conjunction with Vuforia to inject 3D digital models into the real world. Vuforia enables us to take our development and create engaging AR experiences and reach the broadest possible audience. Using Vuforia, we will be able to deploy our AR project into our application.
We are Team 15. I am Rebecca Manweiler.
Stephen Fulton.
Sean Parks.
Alec Knudsen.
And Yarden Tamir, bringing you ScavengAR, a new mobile gaming experience.